A very good evening to you, esteemed viewer. We want to thank God for your life. And of course, we want to thank God for the protection. The fact that you can listen to this voice, the fact that you can see this image, it's an assurance that God has been good to you. Okay, He has given you an opportunity to see the beauty of today. And today being a Monday, we are optimistic that a lot is going to happen throughout the entire week. You cannot lose hope on a Monday. Monday is a day where we are expectant. Of course, we are from the Sunday. Now we get into the fulfillment of the word. So we are optimistic that a lot is going to happen in our lives. Edrine Osteen Mukalazi is my name, and of course, together with the team, we welcome you to today's edition of the Family Hour. Now, it being a Monday, we talk about education and career growth. Now, today we are looking at another special edition of education. We are looking at best practices for Christian educators. Now, the word Christian is put in quotes because there are very many schools that we assume are Christian, but the practices in there are not Christian. So it's really important that we understand the best practices for Christian educators. Today, we are not looking at children, we are looking at now the educators. So this message is for the educators. And I believe after by the time we complete this show, you will now realize whether what you're doing in that education institution is the Great Commission, or you are subduing to the pressures of the world and compromising because of the trends. Now, with us is because he's Kato now, we do not call him Mr. So he's Kato Godfrey Lussisa, who is he's a teacher professionally. He has been a teacher, a head teacher, and an inspector of schools. But of course, he has now retired to serve the Lord at the province. He's from the Directorate of Education at the province of the Church of Uganda. It's a pleasure having you this evening.
Thank you.
And praise the Lord.
Praise God.
Amen. Kindly greet our viewer, and then we shall get into our discussion today.
Good evening, viewers. I'm glad to be here this evening to be with you to share things or matters or practices concerning education. And for a long time, in most of our programs, we have been focusing more on the learner, and we have been leaving the educator out. And I'm glad that this time we are focusing the educator, because somebody said an education system cannot be better than the teachers in the education system. The quality, the attitude of those people will determine the type of education which the nation will receive. But today we are glad we are focusing on Christian educators.
Indeed. And we are looking at the changing trends in the education system, and I wonder whether it was because I'll give an example of the current day prom parties in schools that the ministry though came out to regulate, but I mean, people have adamantly refused to subdue to the directives. However, when we look, we recall in our days when I was in school, there were leavers party, and they were not as exaggerated as they are today. So when you realize it's not even too long when we were in school, and you see a lot has changed, that you're sometimes afraid of even talking about the school and how life was in school because of the changing trends. However, this all comes because of the secular pressure that comes out, and it's unfortunate that even the Christian schools have subdued to this. So, sharing your experience as a former inspector of schools and a former head teacher, how do you view these changing trends, and where are we heading if this is the speed at which we are moving?
Okay, thank you so much. It's true. We have so many trends, many systems, many structures, and everything which is brought or which people come with requires people. And to make matters worse, it targets younger people. New things cannot target old man like me. It targets younger people. Now this one calls upon all the educators and all the teachers and everyone who is concerned to be steady, to identify the right schools which will be able to provide the right values. Because we are talking about practices. Christianity is not about talking. There must be some practical, tangible values which somebody can see and then qualifies, or the school qualifies to be a Christian school or Christian educators. But amidst all this, there is hope, because you have schools which really have Christian values, much as there are those without Christian values, or which try to show themselves as Christian schools. You have mentioned about the prom. By the way, it looks like something new, but it's not very new. Only that it has been exaggerated.
Yes.
Now, in Uganda, we have a problem that business and profit making has entered almost every sector. There are some sectors which are supposed to be service sectors, not money making sectors. But from nowhere, even profit making entered into our country, into Uganda, into education. And some of these people try to find ways of luring these younger people and the parents to make them believe that their schools are the best, when actually inside they are empty and dry. Now it is incumbent on the parent. It is the parent who should sit down, and then he understands the type of child he wants, the type of school he wants, and the type of values. Because education, like any other industry, it has inputs and output. Now, what you see as output is a reflection of the input which took place when this child was going through the school. So, as Christian educators, we have to be strategic. I think that's what the word I should use. You have to be strategic enough to see what we are giving to our children, the values we give to them, the experience they have, the attitude they have, such that when time comes of trials and temptations and testing, they'll be able to pass those tests.
Okay. As we are talking about, you talked about the kind of school. And in a layman's understanding, when you talk about a school, a good school, for us, the first thing that runs into our minds are the structures. Do they have a van that will pick my child at 5:30 a.m.? Do they have these fancy buildings? And but what should a parent look out for in a school as they're choosing a school that will impart those values that you're talking about?
Oh, thank you so much. In the past, when I was still young, I started hating Christianity, because some people were associating Christianity with poverty. The first people, our first forefathers, they thought that looking good is ungodly. That making profits is ungodly. But we are saying we must reach a point of integrating. You have the good buildings, you have the school van, you have the good school uniform, but at the same time, we also have the Christian values put together, such that this child, he grows up as a child, because we are supposed to give these children an opportunity to be children, much as they are Christians. When a child is denied an opportunity to be a child, when he grows up, he goes back to those old. That's why you can find some people when they are old, and then they behave like children. Because when they were growing up, they were denied the opportunity of doing what children are supposed to do. So for us, we are supposed to integrate, to look at the growth of a child and say, this is the stage, this is what deserves this child. But we also look at the school environment. He has a van, because if these days, whether you're a Christian or not, I think a child needs a van. He needs shoes when he's going to school, unless when you have extreme poverty or extreme challenges, because there are cases when things are extreme and you cannot afford. But even if you cannot afford, the child cannot settle in class when his colleagues or her colleagues have dressed well and for him has not dressed well. But we are saying, let us bring all this on board and then we balance. So as Christian educators, in our schools, what people call good schools, they should balance. Because a human being is made up of three parts. not only one part. Number one, we have the body. This body is the box or the container where God put a human being. And a human being himself is a spirit. So one has to balance between feeding the body and also feeding the spirit. Then we have what we call the mind. Mind is a place found within the brains. That's where moods and decisions are made from. It is between the body and between the spirit. Now, when you take a child to a school and then is taught well the mental things, and then is not exposed to faith, biblical values and godly values, that person will grow up when he's spiritually dry. And spiritually dry people are very dangerous to themselves, to the community, to the parents, and even to everyone. That's why you have seen parents who are crying at the old age. In the old age, they did their best to their children, but because they never imparted the values in them, like values of love, of consideration, of kindness, they don't mind about them.
They even remind them, what haven't I done for you?
Yes. They say, you don't tell me that. That was your role. I need not to know. Because it's spiritually dry. So spiritual dryness is very dangerous. But also if you only teaching only faith, and then you are not balancing these values of teaching and learning, a person becomes a mediocre. There are so many people who are spiritually strong, but they are mediocres. There is no excellence in what he's doing. Learning helps us to portray, to bring out excellence, and then faith helps us to feed our spirits, and then we tap from the divine power of God. So a person should be able to balance, and in our approach as educators, we should have this in mind. And as we are balancing, the reason why we are balancing, we try as much as possible to avoid overlaps. Sometimes if you are not balancing, the academics may overlap the spiritual matters. And once it overlaps, it is dangerous. And in other schools, the spiritual matters may overlap the academics, which is also not good. So we are saying let us balance so that we don't have overlaps, so that we don't have manipulations. There are schools which call themselves Christian schools when they are only manipulating. They are manipulating the learners, but they are also manipulating even the parents and the entire community. So Christianity, being a Christian educator, we're not supposed to manipulate. Because these are minor ones, they are younger ones. They have been put into your hands. You are the one to guide them. You are the one to direct them. They have trust in you. And you have more time with them than any other person. Not even their parents can have the right, that time which you have, as they have. Therefore, we are not supposed to manipulate them. We are supposed to teach them. We are supposed to train them. Proverbs 22:6 says, train up a child, so that when he grows up, he will not go away. He will not leave. Because a child reaches an age when he cannot listen to you. Yes. Because growth involves parent-teacher. Parent-child relationship goes into 3 stages. And teacher, number one, the first stage is to instruct. You just instruct that child. He doesn't know why you are telling him what he's doing. Do this, go and wash. He doesn't know the value of washing. Then when he grows up, he transforms to a stage where you are supposed to explain why he's doing what he's going to do. I'm going to wash. Why? Why are you telling me to wash? Why are you telling me to sweep? It is your duty to explain. Because now he has gone to that stage of understanding what he's doing. Now, if you only manipulated and did not train up, that's when he stops and he disobeys you and does not follow. Then after that one, you go to the next stage. Next stage is you negotiate. You reach a point when you have to negotiate with the child. You agree on what to do. Not explanations, not instructions, but you sit down and reach agreement. Today, yes. What are you going to do? I'm going to do this and this and this. Then for me, I had this. Why can't we do A, B, C, D? You reach an agreement. Because you expect his mind or her mind when he has also grown up. Now the last stage is the stage when you are the one to listen to him. At first, he was the one listening
to you.
Now you are the one to listen to the child.
And they'll even say you don't understand.
Yes. If you don't listen well, you will not move well.
Okay.
Yes. He comes. Daddy, mother, mommy. Because these educators, when talk about institutions, we are looking at them right from nursery up to the university.
Yes.
When you have a nursery, a university guy, you think you will not listen to him. You just give him instructions and you follow them. He will not. You have to listen. We have this, we have this, we have this, we have this. And then after listening, then you can guide after listening. You can direct after listening. So at a certain point, educators, we need to guide, and you cannot guide unless when you have listened. You understand the challenges, because much as they are Christians or they are people of faith, but they go through the same challenges of the world, of the environment where they are. So you have to listen. Why do you come late? Home. Why do you come home late? One day, for me, I have my daughter at home. She's in secondary school. I bought shoes and said, I'm not putting them on. I'm sorry, Daddy. Then I had to listen to know why she's refusing. Don't just react and start bring a stick and beat you. No, you have to
beat you.
Let me beat you and you wear them. She will not. She will refuse. Then I said, you come here, dear. Why don't you want to put on these shoes? I said, let me tell you, Dad. These shoes are outdated. We are no longer putting them on. Then I had to ask, which type do you want? Now, some educators don't want to reach that level of listening. But it is also a stage where you have to do what? To listen. Yes. He comes, and this one helps you not to manipulate. And even to avoid conflicts. Some of the conflicts we have wouldn't be there if we can listen to these children. Parental conflicts and even school conflicts. You see these strikes in schools, these fires. One day we had a school where at a certain school, by then I was a deputy teacher. And there was a girl who was not in her mood. We had a school regulation which was saying we are not supposed to call your parent till when the term ends. And the girl said, I want to hear from my father. Yes, I want to hear my father.
The term has not ended.
The term has not ended. Then you have to go in the meeting. This girl is not sick. This girl has no problem. She's saying she wants to hear from his father. That's all. Then you have to also to counsel ourselves. But what's wrong with this girl calling to her father? She talks to the father and then she comes back to normal and then she runs. Because sometimes you can put stringent things which sometimes are meaningless. No way, don't talk, you don't do what? And then we said, do you have any other thing apart from hearing from father? He said, nothing. They said, let us bring the phone. We give her the phone. She talks to the father. And the girl called the father. And in 10 minutes, she was happy. She had gone back to normal. And then she was, well, now the question was, who was in the wrong? The girl or us? We were the ones who were in the wrong. The other one is the father, is the one taking care of her. She feels that attachment, that love.
And
now
she's entitled.
We are denying her. We are making rules which don't work, and then we are bringing conflicts. So as educators, as Christian educators, let us focus on things which will not bring conflicts, which you can avoid. That's why I've been mentioning that. That's why you see some of these strikes. They come from simple things. You are not listening. Now, as when you read the Bible, God listens to us. In Isaiah, he said, come and reason together. If God can call somebody, a person he created, he has power of, and said, come and you reason together. For us, we don't want to reason with them. They have also their own reasoning. Yes.
But are these practices, for example, listening, because we are in a generation that has been, we are seeing a generation that teachers have categorized as a generation that is unruly, a generation that is manipulative. I mean, all these are things that our teachers say about the children who are in school today, that they can easily take advantage of you. Now, is that possible to see that we can have these practices without, with all the pressures that come by, because you realize in some schools you're so busy that the administrators want results from you, and so you have no time for all these other details. All the focus is pump notes, complete the syllabus, and do all these.
Now, today we have two things I want to mention.
Yes.
Number one, we have exposure globally.
Yes.
A person can be on his phone here when he's reaching the entire world.
Yeah.
There is nothing you can hide. You cannot hide anything from these children. What you can do is to guide them on what they are getting. That is number one. So you cannot say that you have to push them up and around, or they don't know. And we have gone to schools where children know more than their teachers. In this generation, you must be aware, you must know that the people you are teaching know more than what you know. But you are at the same time their guide. You guide them on how they should use what they know. And that one takes you also to be strong and firm. Because they know, they are exposed, and all that. There's no way you can say that they don't know. Even at home, you can see. When my phone gets a problem, I just call one of those children. Come and help me. He says, okay, it's only this. He places things and then he puts the phone in order, which means that he knows more than what I know. So that exposure is there. We cannot deny it. Number two, learning does not mean first grade. Some people think that learning means first grade. No.
And that is the mentality that we carry today.
Those are mentality of poor people.
Okay.
Poor people are the ones. Now, when you get a first grade in P7, what do you become?
You go to a good secondary school.
And you do what? You are in the same class with somebody who got a fourth grade. Don't they meet in the same class? This one got a first grade, this one got a second grade. I'm not saying that first grades are bad, but I'm saying don't die and kill a child because he has not got a first grade. One day I have my son. He was always coming back home with tears. Then one day I called him, say, why is it that whenever you come back you have tears? He said, there is a teacher. He has made me uncomfortable. I said, how has he made you uncomfortable? He's pushing me, he's beating me that whether I want or not, I must get a first grade. He has a wire. He's threatening me that he'll do something wrong. So I told him that, okay, I'll go and talk to the teacher. When I went, I found the younger man. He was still young. I talked to him, why is it that this boy is always crying? He said, I told that boy, I want a first grade. And I will not leave him. Then I had to cancel the teacher. I said, teacher, I did not send this boy to get a first grade. I sent him to learn. There's a difference between getting a first grade and learning. And real learning. Actually, most of us, we are on learning. We are not on first grades. Yeah. If you go around here in Chikuba and you ask those people around, how many got first grades, you'll be frustrated.
Exactly. You may not find any.
You go to Kampala Road there. You ask, please, I want to record only people who got first grades. You'll be surprised. But they learned.
Yes.
That's why they can sit down, they can organize themselves. Others, there are some who got first grades, others got second grades, others got third grades, others got whatever grades. But learning took place. Learning took what? Place. Because we said learning is invisible. It is not something you can see there and then. And on top of that, you see the output later, not at the time when you are teaching somebody. Now, if they bring you two people, one who got a first grade and in the end failed, and one who did not get a first grade and in the end succeeded, and they ask you of the two, who had effective learning?
The one who is successful.
Yes. Without a first grade. Yes. Which means learning took place.
We are taking a short commercial break. When we return, we now want to see how we can incorporate these practices into into the present day learning, especially considering the rate at which things are changing without compromise. We are coming back shortly. Stick with us.